What up, everybody? Blaze One Sports, and today we're talking UFC 276, happening this Saturday, the 2nd in Las Vegas, Nevada. Many are saying that this is going to be the greatest card of all time, or some are saying that this is one of the best cards that they have seen in a while. This card on paper is definitely good, and I'm sure a lot of the fights are going to be exciting, but this card is nowhere close to the greatest card of all time. I mean, to me, my favorite card is UFC 100. You had Lesnar, GSP, Dan Hendo Henderson with that famous knockout on Bisbee. I mean, to me, that's the greatest card of all time, but that card is definitely better than this card. This card is a good card, though. It's got some names on it: Max Holloway, Volkanowski, Izzy Adesanya, and Sean O'Malley. The Miesha Tate fight was canceled, so hopefully they move Brian Barberino and Robbie Lawler up to the first fight or up into the main card, because that's going to be a really good fight. Both guys come to fight, they slug it out. So I can't wait to see that one. That's on the prelim, but hopefully it gets moved up since the Miesha Tate fight got canceled. So Sean O'Malley, he's a name. He's more of a name than he's got fighting skills. You know, he's a good fighter, but right now they're just trying to hype him up. Izzy, he's a good champion, and he's famous, but he's not too big of a name to the outside world, to the outside of the MMA community. He's pretty much unknown. Cannoneer, he's a good fighter too, former heavyweight. He's got power, but he's also pretty much only known in the MMA circle, or to MMA fans, which is how it should be. But they're saying there's not a lot of name star power on here, so I don't know why they say it's one of the best cards of all time, but we'll run with it. Max Holloway is probably the biggest name on this card, former champion. He's in the title fight against Max Volkanowski, try to win his title back. So we'll start off. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a good card, but the greatest of all time, nah, not even close. I don't think so. So for the main event, Izzy Adesanya versus Jared Cannoneer. Like I said, Jared Cannoneer is a former heavyweight. He's got a lot of power. He's got that one-hit power. He's coming off of a 2-win win streak. He beat Kevin Gastelum, and then he beat Derek Brunson. Cannoneer's got that heavy hand, but Izzy Adesanya's got the more skill. He's more skillful. He's lighter on his feet. He's going to probably pick him apart. Izzy's only losses to Jan Blachowicz when he moved up to light heavyweight to try to win that belt, and he got beat. So this fight's going to be interesting, though. Like I said, Jared Cannoneer is a former heavyweight. He's got explosive hands. He can knock you out. He's got decent takedown defense, decent takedowns. Jared Cannoneer is a little bit slower in the feet, a little bit slower. Israel Adesanya is more explosive. He's going to be quicker on his feet, quicker with the combos. So look for Israel Adesanya to pick apart Cannoneer and probably win by decision. I think that he'll probably win by decision, or maybe he'll knock him out. Who knows? But this fight could go either way, and if you were betting, you could probably make some money if you bet Cannoneer, because there's always that chance. Izzy's kind of hasn't really looked that great in his last couple fights, so this one could be an upset. I could see Cannoneer catching him and knocking him out. So what do you guys think? But my money is on Israel. I could see Cannoneer winning, but I'm gonna have to go with Izzy because he's still the champion, and Cannoneer still really hasn't. I don't know. His last 2 fights were good, but to me, he's just a power puncher. Izzy's more skillful. He's like, you could say like Anderson Silva kind of, but not really. He's got movement. He's quick on his feet. He could, get in and out with the jabs, with the hits. So that's going to be the main event. Jared Cannoneer versus Israel Adesanya. Look for that. That should be a go decision. Should be an exciting fight. I'm going with Izzy on that one. Next on the co-main event, we got the other title fight. Volkanowski versus Max Holloway. 3. This fight's pretty much a do or die for both fighters, because after this one, I don't think Dana White's going to want to schedule a 4th fight between both of them. Max Holloway already has 2 losses to Volkanowski, so definitely if Max Holloway loses this fight, that'll be 3 losses. He's not going to get a fourth fight with Volkanowski, and he's going to have to probably change weight classes or something. Volkanowski's last 2 fights, the Korean Zombie and Brian Ortega, he pretty much outclassed both of them, pummeling Brian Ortega. Well, Brian Ortega had those 2 submission attempts, so it made the fight kind of interesting. But Volkanowski pretty much smashed Ortega, and the Korean Zombie just outclassed him in his last 2 fights. Max Holloway's coming off his last 2 wins against Calvin Kattar, who he beat the brakes off, and Yair Rodriguez. It was a competitive fight, so he has those 2 wins. Now he's getting his third crack at Volkanowski for the title. Even though Max Holloway got those last 2 wins, I think he's kind of like past this championship prime. I think he's still a good fighter, but I don't think he's like championship material anymore. Alexander Volkanowski, he's just smashing people right now, and he's pretty much in his prime. And with Max losing his losing twice to Volkanowski, I just don't see him beating him. I see Volkanowski beating Max Holloway in this one. Like I said, Max Holloway's still a good fighter. He's still gonna, get wins and everything. I just don't think I don't think he can get past Volkanowski. And I think he's like out of his championship prime. Like I think his championship days are over. Ever since he lost the belt. So what do you guys think about that one? I got Volkanowski over Max Holloway in that one. Because like I said, Max Holloway, I think he's just like kind of out of his prime right now. But next, we got Sean Strickland versus Alex Bejeda. Both are good fighters and both are top contenders. And in the middleweight, and since Izzy's running out of contenders after Jared Cannoneer, if Izzy beats Jared Cannoneer, then because if Jared Cannoneer wins, then there'll probably be an immediate rematch. So the winner of the Sean Strickland Bejeda fight is said to get the next title shot. Bejeda's already got I think they said a win over Izzy, but it's not on his record, so I don't know what they're talking about. But Bejeda and Izzy have history, and the UFC is fast tracking Bejeda to a title shot. And since him and Strickland are going to be top contenders, and there's no one else, Izzy already cleaned out the division. The winner of Sean Strickland, Bejeda, should get the next title shot at middleweight if Izzy wins. If he loses, there'll be immediate rematch. But if Israel Adesanya wins, beats Jared Cannoneer, then the winner of Sean Strickland, Bejeda, will get the next title shot. In case Izzy would probably most likely win that fight too. Next, we got Pedro Munoz versus Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley seems considered a little soft. He's got a lot of hype behind him, but what Chito Vera did to him, chopping his leg and then sending him out on a stretcher, ever since then, people have been looking at him like he's soft. After that, the UFC babied him, gave him I forget his last name, that one fighter who he just kept on coming forward, and O'Malley just peppered him up. And then, he's looked good since then. But this is like, besides Chito Vera, who was a real fighter, a real test for him, Pedro Munoz is going to be another good test for him. Pedro Munoz is a real good fighter, but Sean O'Malley is going to have the reach, the length, the size. But O'Malley better be careful because Pedro Munoz loves chopping the legs. He loves the leg kicks. So this is definitely going to be a good fight. Hopefully O'Malley gets the win. Pedro Munoz is a really skilled fighter, and winner of this fight should be, ranked probably in the top 5 or getting towards the title. One fight closer. Next, Miesha Tate, her fight got canceled. So there's going to be a card bumped up, a fight from the prelims, and I hope it's going to be Brian Barberino versus Robbie Lawler, because that's going to be a real good fight. That's going to be a barn burner. Both guys come to fight. Both guys box. Both guys are warriors, especially Robbie Lawler. He's a legend, future Hall of Famer. Brian Barberino's got hands too. Robbie Lawler got chin. It's going to be a good back and forth war. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Brian Barberina Robbie Lawler fight. Hopefully it gets moved up to the main card because it deserves to be. The Miesha Tate fight is canceled, so hopefully that fight gets moved up, but they'll probably move up the Brad Riddell fight. But Robbie Lawler, legend, warrior, and Brian Barberina comes to fight every time. So like I said, it's going to be a back and forth war. Can't wait for that one. So besides that, I mean, that fight would probably be one of the main fights I want to watch on the card. I'm also interested in the Sean O'Malley fight, the Izzy fight. All the other fights, I'm not too interested in them, but I'm going to watch them. The Max Holloway fights, whatever. The Izzy, I want to see if Cannoneer can knock him out. Sean O'Malley, just because it's O'Malley, I'm going to watch, I'm going to watch the card anyways, but I'm interested in that one because of O'Malley. To me, my favorite fight on the card is going to be probably in name value is going to be the Robbie Lawler Brian Barberina fight. You guys might think I'm crazy or stupid, but other than that, the main card is going to be exciting too. I'm just looking forward to watching Robbie Lawler fight. Izzy, hopefully he looks better. He fights a little bit better than he's been fighting. Max Holloway, Volkanowski, that should be a back and forth war too. So I'm tripping. But anyways, let me know which fight's going to be your guys' favorite fight on the card. What fight are you guys looking forward to? Some are saying greatest card of all time. Nah, it's a good card though, but not greatest of all time. What do you guys think? What's your favorite card? UFC 276 happening this Saturday in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. Thoughts, comments, questions, opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Blaze One Sports.